team's touchdowns so far this year. They're also starting a couple of rookies on defense. One who essentially helped them bring in a third-round pick in season, Trayvon Mullen, who played well enough at corner that they felt okay to trade away Garyon Conley, bringing in a third. And speaking of trades and draft picks, that first-round pick from the Khalil Mack trade, if the season ended right now, it would be the 10th overall pick to go with their 16th overall pick, so there is more help on the way. Panthers drafted a defensive player with their first-round pick last year, and that pick is also paying off. Brian Burns, limited with a broken wrist, still second on the team in sacks, a team that is first in the league in sacks. Carolina, would you guess that? Because nobody's really talking about them. They've got 34 sacks so far this year, 2 more than New England, which has played 1 more game. And it's not just one guy who's doing it. It's 7 different guys who have 3 or more sacks. Look, Christian McCaffrey is my midseason MVP pick, but he's not the only one here who should be feeling the love. That said, guards never get any love. So let's change that right now, and let's celebrate the one that Pro Football Focus says is the best in the NFL this season. Doesn't play in Indy, though I do love me some Quentin Nelson. It's Philadelphia's Brandon Brooks, who is the only offensive lineman in the league with a 90-plus grade on the year. Just turned in a 96 this past week, the best for an offensive lineman in 4 years. He's played 582 snaps. He only has 1 penalty, and he has not allowed a single sack on the season. And he just tore his Achilles 9 months ago. Comeback player of the year? Let's think about it. In the meantime, let's think about Cam Newton's future. Not long ago, it would have been unthinkable, the suggestion that Cam Newton would ever leave the Carolina Panthers. And yet, suddenly, it seems like a real possibility. After the break, where will Cam be in 2020? Quarterback for the last 6 games is going to be their quarterback for the rest of their games. Cam Newton placed on injured reserve today with a foot injury. Kyle Allen on Instagram called him a great teammate day in and day out and thanked him for setting the example. Allen, very good since he took over at quarterback. 5 wins. Only Brady and Garoppolo have more in that time. How do you think that influenced the Panthers' comfortability making this move?
I mean, I think it made it easy for him. Obviously, if Cam Newton isn't healthy, that's the first and foremost thing that's probably in their minds. Let's get him healthy. And so it made the choice easy not to try to force Cam back out there to play. It was like, hey, let's get you 100%. We all saw Cam say he wants to be 100% when he gets back out on the football field. And who better than a guy like Kyle Allen to go out and win football games and give your team a really good chance to make the playoffs?
Yeah, well, when I look at this quarterback situation, obviously I think that the Carolina Panthers made the right decision. I said 5 weeks ago they should IR Cam Newton and just roll with this guy. And I think it's built around the fact that when you're dealing with Cam Newton, he is the show of the offense, right? And you got to build around his abilities as the center point of the offense. Kyle Allen, he's more like a point guard. He likes to distribute things. And actually, I got a soundbite I want to throw to of Kyle Allen talking about exactly what makes him special at the quarterback position.
I'm just going to do what I'm told. Norv's been doing this for a long time, a lot longer than me. And so I'm going to trust him. I'm going to go through my reads. And we got great players all around. We got DJ, Curtis, Greg, Christian, Jay Wright. They're all playing at high levels right now. And so it's like you said, man, when we play at our best, we're executing, we're staying within the play. And I'm just doing what I'm told from Norv, like you said.
That doesn't sound like a guy that's going to be doing a lot of this, making the focal point on him. That sounds like a guy that's going to be distributing the football and letting his playmakers push the ball down the football field. I think Norv Turner would like to coach a guy that way because the scheme is what's making the team better.
We showed you Kyle Allen's Instagram post. Cam Newton also posted a message on Instagram. I'm not going to read you the whole message because I will sound like I just learned how to read, trying to get through all of these symbols. But I do think that it's important to read you the first line. Charlotte and the Panthers will forever be in my heart. Is he saying goodbye?
That's what it sounds like, huh?
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like he's seeing the same thing we see.
Well, and the reason Cam probably feels like that is because Cam knows he's probably not the easiest person to get along with, right? When you watch Cam do some of the things he does, he might be a great teammate. He seems as though he's a great teammate. I don't know Cam personally, but anytime you have players who are such big personalities, when their talent starts to deteriorate just a little bit, it makes it a little bit easier for coaches to be like, look, man, I'm not dealing with all this, man. I'm not dealing with all this. And Kyle Allen, as you just heard him say, I do what the coach tells me to do.
But you know what? Somebody is going to deal
absolutely.
with all of that, and they're going to want to deal with all of that. Where do you think he'll play next year?
For me, a great landing spot, and I know this might not be too sexy of a pick for America, but the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans. They have a defense. Right now they're only allowing 18.3 points per game. That's top 10 in the National Football League, and they're 8th in sacks. They know how to stop people. When you have a running quarterback, a mobile quarterback, you want to have a tough-nosed defense. They also run their offense through the tight ends and the running backs, just like the Carolina Panthers do a little bit. So for me, when you look at a scheme fit, the Tennessee Titans are the perfect scheme fit for a Cam Newton.
And they're looking for a quarterback.
See, M-Rob's in the real world. I'm playing Madden right now, Lindsay. And so if I'm playing Madden and I'm the New York Jets, if I can get Darnold out of there because he's seeing ghosts and get a guy like Cam Newton in there, I'm just saying. I know it would never happen, but can I play Madden for 1 second? 1 second. But, another place, like I said the Jets earlier, but even a place like Cincinnati, who will probably have a top 3 or 4 pick, use that pick for a sure home run hitter, a guy like Chase Young, one of the pass rushers from Old State, just a proven commodity like San Fran did with Bosa. You have a pass rusher who's going to be a gangster for the next 10 to 12 years. You have your quarterback, because none of these teams that I really see him going to are a quarterback away, and that's what's going to be interesting for Cam. Where does he go? Does he try to win and take less? Does he go and take the most and maybe not win as much and experience what Le'Veon's kind of going through right now? It's going to be interesting to see where he lands.
If Cam Newton is back to that Superman form and he's in the Tennessee Titans uniform, I'm picking him to go to the Super Bowl next year. You can call it.
Nobody said Chicago.
No.
Nobody said Denver. He's tall enough to play
That's
there.
a good one,
Yeah,
though.
Denver is.
That is a really interesting.
And, they have some quarterback issues at the moment. The only active
John Elway ain't great
quarterbacks.
with quarterbacks, though, so I can't don't go there.
These are the only active guys on their roster right now are Brandon Allen and Brett Rippon, because Joe Flacco is on IR, and so is their second-round draft pick, Drew Lock. Allen, a fourth-year player in the league who hadn't even taken a snap before Sunday's game in which they started him. And you could argue that he outplayed Baker Mayfield in this game, who win not under pressure.
You ain't got to argue that one. He did.
Okay.
He outplayed him.
So there you go. Mike Rob says he outplayed Baker Mayfield. How's the stat for Baker Mayfield? When not under pressure, he has the worst passer rating in the NFL. When he is not under pressure.
So when he's just playing 7-on-7 out there, he's not that very good, huh?
D-Hall, did we maybe get ahead of ourselves in our assessment of him last year?
I think we might have crowned Baker a little bit too early, and I'm guilty of it too. I crowned him without really digging into the numbers. And once I started digging into the numbers last year, when Hugh Jackson got fired and Freddie Kitchens came in and took over the offense and things like that, the play calling, they faced the Falcons, who were a struggling team. They got to play the Bengals twice, who we all know what they were, who they are, the Panthers, who weren't really rolling, in the Broncos. And so this wasn't a team who had to play New England, who had to play all of these tough games that we're seeing now. And so to me, I don't know if Baker's as good as we all think he is. And that stat that Lindsay just said, that's telling, because when there's no pressure and you're supposed to be relaxed, the game is moving too fast for you, obviously. You're making mistakes. You're turning the ball over. When you're blitzed, if you make mistakes, we can kind of understand that. It takes time to be comfortable. Everybody doesn't just hike the ball and you're Tom Brady and that comfort level is there. And so for me, when he's not being blitzed, if he can't sit in that pocket and be comfortable, you played the position. Like,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
If you can sit in that pocket and not have any pressure and be comfortable back there, you got a chance to be successful. And Baker hasn't shown me that.
No, he hasn't. I think at the end of the day, we forget sometimes, because we got to go on and we got to talk on television every single day about something. We forget that this is still a young quarterback, very, very young. And at the end of the day, he's going to make young people mistakes. And I got some tape to show you guys this past week where he made a young person mistake. Yeah. Anybody will sit back here and say, hey, man, I got Odell Beckham. He one-on-one up top. First of all, you do got to check that pass. But if you don't, the play design was designed for Jarvis Landry to get the football. If you throw it on time, guess what? This is a completion. Nobody's saying anything. But it's an incompletion. and now you have Baker Mayfield over there with his, hair all shaved off and all that stuff around his face or whatever, and it's a bad play, and now people are criticizing the play calling, criticizing Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield is still a franchise quarterback. He's just young. He's just a young quarterback.
I just see so much regression in what he was last year and where he is right now. The dude hasn't thrown more than one touchdown in any game.
So let me ask you this.
He has 7.
So let me ask you this, D-Hop. Has Aaron Rodgers regressed in his career?
No, he hasn't.
He has a new offense.
Yes.
A new guy. Now, Freddie Kitchens started calling the plays a little bit last year, but this guy's still getting into a rhythm with Baker Mayfield calling plays. Give it some time. It ain't going to be instant. I still think Baker Mayfield is a franchise quarterback.
You did bring up the facial hair, though. And so I would like to go down that road fully.
That's how he walked in the stadium, right?
So, yeah, he showed up for the game with a full beard. And then during pregame warm-ups, he was sporting a different look. It was a Fu Manchu.
Head scratcher, Lindsay. I'm still scratching my head right here. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, we're not done. There's more. After the game,
oh, man.
it was just a mustache.
He looked like the Home Alone robbers.
Yeah, he does. He does. Hey, we got to get that kid. We got to get that kid.
Did he, bring his shaving kit to the stadium?
Hey, look, I
don't get what's happening here.
I wasn't a big routine guy, but I sure didn't have enough time to do all that. I was trying to win the game, and when
Especially
the game was over, if I didn't play good, Lindsay, I was ready to go.
Especially
I wasn't shaving it again.
Especially a quarterback.
Especially a quarterback.
Quarterbacks have a lot going on. That was funny. Thanks, Baker.
Appearances do it. They
What
say
will
a
it
lot.
be next week? Nothing. Bald. All of it's gone. Still ahead, Deion Sanders doesn't need records or stats or public opinion to tell him who the best team in the NFL is. All Prime needs is some prime. But as a former 49er, can he be impartial? The answer, shockingly, is yes.
Yeah, he can.
That's next.